You know the deal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to my garage, and welcome to what will hopefully be the final part in this incredibly long and drawn out build series. I don't necessarily have anything specific to go through today. It's really just kind of like a hodgepodge of miscellaneous junk that we have to go and get done in order to get this thing finally back on the road. Specifically, I need to go through all 16 things on this list, at which point we'll actually be able to go and fire up the computer, make a few adjustments, and finally get this thing back over to Larry to get it on the dyno. Now the goal for this, my goal for this would be to go and get all that stuff done in about a 24-hour period. You assume everything takes between an hour, hour and a half maybe per task. Definitely doable, definitely kind of a tall order though. So I'm just gonna go and bang this stuff out as fast as I possibly can. You guys aren't actually gonna go and see this video until I get all that stuff done. But I'm gonna be hustling and grinding for at least the next 24 to 48 hours to go and get all that stuff banged out. I didn't actually plan on making this specific video since it is just kind of be like a bunch of small little things. But figured if I'm in the process of doing it and there is something that you guys might find benefit in, any pro tips or anything like that, then just go ahead and drop those in here as we go. To kick this off, I want to go ahead and start off with the intake manifold. I actually went to install this the other day, ran into a slight technical problem. I'm sure it's probably self-induced. Basically, these right here are the rail supports, and you got 3 of them. So you got 1, 2, and then you got the one here that I already took off. And the problem was that you cannot actually go and slide these injector connectors up in here because there wasn't enough space. So you had to go and pull the rail supports off, which is fine. The problem is though, that in order to go and remove this lower bolt right here, you actually wind up running into the top of the valve cover, and I really didn't want to go scratching up my black valve covers. So I just went and pulled this back off. Luckily, we got our mil-spec harness here. So I just went and disconnected the 2 firewall connectors. It's super easy to disconnect. It took like 3 minutes. Anyway, so to kick this off, kind of a pro tip for you guys too, for orientation purposes, I had to run these at a 90-degree offset. Hopefully the camera picks this up. Basically have one up and then the other one forward, because the way I had them before, it was in a 45, and you couldn't go and connect both of these at an angle because the connectors would actually like sit there and rub on each other. So this way we can just do up and over one, and then over here on the other, over here on the other. Yeah, so should be pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and jump in. I gotta say, I'm so glad that I did this off of the car, because there's absolutely no way I would have been able to go and snag all this stuff on there if it was on the car. This right here is why stuff takes so long. If you look right down here, you can see the intake manifold isn't actually flush on the head. Reason being is because this connector right here is actually hitting on the cam position sensor. So I think I'm just gonna go and delete this particular cam position sensor and run off of the back one, because the one back here, when you go and push it up, isn't actually whacking anything, or maybe it is. I need to figure this out. This is a colossal pain in the butt. Yeah. All right, so I thought that maybe if I were to go and do like a 45-degree offset like I had before, that it would clear it. Obviously not. And yeah, kind of the same story over here on the F side. Maybe if I bump that one like that, and then this one up, and swap out the fastener for something a little flatter, maybe? All right, so progress is short-lived. Turns out I'm gonna have to order a cam position sensor delete plug thing in order to go and clear the injector clips between the number 3 and 4 cylinder. Let's go ahead and keep on moving. At least we can go and make some more progress, so that way we don't get completely stalled and bogged down. If I can get everything else on the list knocked out here in pretty short order, then hopefully by the time the cam position sensor delete plug thing goes and comes in, we can just drop that in, drop the manifold in, tighten everything down, and then plug in the harness. Let's keep going. All right guys, next up we got a slight fan modification. If you look at a PHR website, they say that this fan shroud right here cannot actually be used with a conventional intake pipe that goes up and right into the throttle body. And the reason for that is because you actually got the AC compressor pulley right there, and then the fan motor right there that doesn't really allow you to go and put your charge pipe in. So we're gonna see if we can go and modify this a little bit. I got an idea as to how I might be able to go and have this working with this guy. Basically, what we're gonna wind up doing, you got fasteners around here and they got nuts on the other side of this. There's actually, between the blades and the radiator, probably a good inch and a half of clearance. And then on the back side of the nuts, there's probably about a 1/4 inch or so of clearance. So what I'm thinking is we can go and shim this guy forward about a 1/2 inch or so, which should go and give us sufficient clearance right in here. I don't know, we'll see if that works. Let's give it a shot. All right, so we got this stuff apart, and a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news. The bad news is one of these actually goes and protrudes out probably a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch farther than the other one does. So what that means is I'll only be able to have one of the fans shimmed in, and it won't be symmetrical, which will be kind of annoying, but I'd rather do that than have it damage the fins and stuff on the rad. That would kind of suck. So this one is gonna be sitting flush still, so that'll be on the passenger side. And this one is almost perfect. I mean, this thing sits super flush. It's like right on the edge of that. So basically what we're gonna do to test this is I'm gonna go and stack washers in between this piece right here, where the fan actually mounts, and then the shroud itself. Space that out, figure out how much space I can actually get, and then we will get spacers and stuff, and then new countersunk screws probably tomorrow. All right, so right now I'm thinking 3 nuts width. Might be a little thick, only because if you put this straight up and down, we're basically over by the bolt head equivalent. So I think if we go and take a total measurement of all 3 nuts combined and then just subtract that bolt head there, that'll actually go and give it to us flush. But for right now, let's at least go and test fit it, see where it is in relationship between the motor and the compressor housing. I think this might be absolutely perfect. I'm so stoked. Check this out. If you look right down there, where I thought we were over because we're sitting flush with the end of the shroud, we've actually got almost the entire width of the bolt head again and then some. So that is perfect. And then, moment of truth right here. Oh, dang. You guys, that is like perfect. I got probably a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch on both sides of this. Look at that. Obviously trying not to like wiggle it while I'm holding the camera, but still, that is like perfect. Heck yeah. And then we can still have our forward facing pipe. Oh, this is so great. I'm so excited. So pro tip number 2 for this video, you can in fact, as long as you go and put the skinny fan on the driver's side, you can in fact use a PHR fan shroud with the radiator and a regular cold side intercooler pipe. So yeah, that's awesome. I am going to measure these and then go and pick up spacers and fasteners tomorrow. Anyway, so I'll let you guys know exactly what the dimensions of the spacers are here in a second. I also want to go and figure out a way to go and get a good seal in between the fan housing and then the shroud portion. Anyway, that is all I'm going to be able to go and knock out tonight, unfortunately, but I will see you guys here in 3, 2, we're back, just like I said we'd be back. So I went over to my local Ace Hardware today. It turns out they actually had everything we needed for the fan install, which is awesome. You got all these part numbers right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put all of them in the description below just so you guys have them too. Basically, we got 4 bolts. I went with the Allen key ones just because they have a rounded kind of hex head and they're a little bit smaller. So it'll give us a little bit more clearance. We've also got a 1/2 inch aluminum spacer in there. And then I went ahead and threw a Teflon nut and a washer on each of these two. The total width of vacuum line that I purchased to go and help and seal around the gap that's in the shroud right now, after we got done doing this, is about 15 bucks total for everything, which really isn't too bad, considering that doing up a new intercooler pipe would cost me, I don't know, probably $40, $50 in materials plus welding it, then you gotta go get it repowder coated and blah, blah, blah. So this is a very nice, very affordable solution. I also got the cam position sensor block off ordered, so hopefully that'll be here in like a week-ish. That means I don't think I'm gonna go through and actually install the intake manifold and connect all the wiring harness and everything like that in this video. I'm probably not even gonna do a video on it because it's literally just bolted on, attached bolts, couple of nuts, plug in a bunch of connectors, and that's it. So if you guys do want to see that, put a comment in the section below. I'd be happy to go and just do like a short clip or something like that on my Instagram just so you guys can see it and have it. But yeah, it's super straightforward, nothing super crazy. Which means the next video should be us playing with a computer, hopefully, or starting it up, possibly both. Time will tell. All right, guys, next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and install all these beautiful fuel lines that we made a couple videos ago, as well as get the tank hung. I'm not gonna go and cover any fuel line fabrication or anything like that at all, because we did do that in this video right here. So if you missed that, be sure to go back and check it out. And that's pretty much gonna be the last thing on our list that we're gonna be able to cover until the cam sensor block off gets here. Hopefully that'll be here by the end of the week. Until then though, let's go ahead and get these fuel lines installed. All right, so for anybody that thinks this stuff kind of goes off without a hitch and goes perfectly every time, that is clearly not the case. My feed line, as you can see, is pretty butt up against this bit here. So I think I might need to do a bit of a rethink on how this is gonna work, because obviously that's not gonna, because I can't actually go and get it up high enough to where I can get the straps installed. I'm kind of thinking if I go and swap out the 45 that's on here for maybe a straight fitting, then I can go and rotate it to where it's more like that way and goes right down here in this little gap. I think that might work. Let me fiddle with this some more, see if I can get it figured out. All right, guys, it's been about an hour and this is where I'm at. I think honestly probably the best thing to do at this point would be to go and like cut some of this maybe right here, just give it a little bit more clearance, because that's just not going anywhere. And down here on the bottom, I haven't tightened this stuff up anywhere along the line, but like this is return, this is a prime, and this is gonna be the draw to the mechanical. And right here is where the bolt's supposed to go for the other tank strap. So I don't know, I'm kind of at a loss. I mean, if you guys have some suggestions, definitely hit me up in the comment section. I'd appreciate some help. I'm still gonna be working on this here for at least a little bit, but yeah, not really sure what to do with that at this point. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you guys liked it. That was about... All right, guys, sorry to interrupt the outro here. I had been filming this video over the course of about a week or so, and I was going through and doing the edits and decided that I was gonna go out and check the mail, and guess what arrived? I wanted to give a huge shout out to Scott over at 1000hp Engineering. These guys are out of Australia. They're the ones I bought the cam sensor block off from. Now, part of the reason I decided to go with their cam sensor block off specifically was really because it was beveled and it would give me a little bit more clearance. And what I mean by that, if you look right here, these edges are machined down instead of being straight across. So right over here, it's gonna give us that much more clearance when we go and install it in the car. I know there's several other companies here in the United States that go and make one. Induction Performance makes one, Powerhouse does, I think Real Street may or may not too. But given the proximity to the injector clips and the injectors, I really just wanted to go and shave off that extra 1/8 of an inch or so just to make sure we had all the clearance we could possibly get. Let's go ahead and install this thing right quick and I'll show you guys how much more clearance we got with the injectors once it's done. All right, look at that. I did have to go and move the number 3 cylinder, kind of like that 45 thing, just to go and clear this. And the clip, this isn't actually bolted down, which is why it wiggles right now. But the clip, if you can see it, is clearing that just perfectly. I'm so glad I went with the beveled one from 1000hp Engineering. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for getting that out to me in a hurry. All right, guys, for real this time, that is going to do it for today's video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions on how I can deal with the fuel feed issue, let me know in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate the help. I'd really strongly prefer something that doesn't involve cutting, if at all possible. Maybe it's not, I don't know. Like I said, if you guys have any suggestions or anything, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, hope you guys found today's video useful. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because there will be a lot more content coming. As soon as I can go and get this thing back on the road, we can get it over to the dyno, get it tuned, and actually start enjoying it, do some mountain cruising, stuff like that. I got a bunch of stuff planned. I just need this thing to cooperate and actually get it up and running. So I'm gonna go through and finish up the rest of these plugs. I will see y'all very soon in the next video. Catch you next time.